It's that time of year when you may find holiday greetings in your mailbox. But have you ever wondered how the Christmas card came about? It all sort of started in 1611 when King James I of England received this large ornamental manuscript from Michael Mayer, a well-known German physician and counselor to Rudolph II, King of Hungary, Croatia, and Bohemia. It was 33 inches by 24 inches and was folded into smaller panels, presumably to make it easier to transport. It had a picture of a rose in the center and a Christmas and New Year's message to the king and his son, Prince Henry, written into and around the rose. There were also 4 poems and a song included. This first precursor to the Christmas card was discovered in 1979, and the writing has so deteriorated that the only way you can read it is under ultraviolet light. We'll learn more about the Christmas card and check out several Christmas cards sent out by the Boy Scouts of America over time in this edition of Artifact of the Week. The idea of sending a Christmas or New Year's greeting to friends and family dates back for centuries. Now, for the English, there was a long-held tradition of personally visiting or sending a lengthy letter to your friends and family to share your holiday wishes and update them on the happenings of your life. Now, of course, each correspondence you received required an equally lengthy reply to not only acknowledge their letter or visit, but to update them as well on your life. Over time, society expanded, and our group of friends and family also grew to the point where just keeping up with these social expectations created great stress, anxiety, and exhaustion. They say necessity is the mother of invention, and the Christmas card is a prime example. In 1843, all of the social expectations surrounding Christmas and the New Year became just too much for Sir Henry Cole, a prominent educator and patron of the arts. He was a member of the elite social circles of his time, and as a result, well, he had just too many friends. Cole was also directly involved with developing the penny post in England, helping launch the black penny stamp in 1840, and granting commoners access to the English postal system, a communications network previously limited to those with wealth and power. As a result of the penny post and the black penny stamp, the number of letters he began to receive grew rapidly. As he watched the pile of correspondence increase, he knew he couldn't commit the social faux pas of not replying. Now, because Cole had an issue with properly replying to all of his friends' Christmas greetings and a desire to increase the use of the penny post by the ordinary British citizen, Cole came upon an ingenious idea: the Christmas card. Cole reached out to his friend, an artist by the name of J.C. Horsley, and asked him to sketch out what he had envisioned in his head. The first Christmas card was 5 1/8 of an inch by 3 1/4 inches. The center was an illustration of a family celebrating the holiday together. On either side of this were drawings of people helping the poor. Cole had a London printer print 1,000 of these cards on heavy cardstock. At the top of the card was a salutation, 2 and a blank, so the sender could personalize each response. At the bottom of the card was a generic greeting: a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you. Cole and Horsley sold these for $1 each. It was the first commercial Christmas card. Cole's Christmas card wasn't without controversy, as the center panel depicted children being served wine, which violated the temperance mood of the day. This really wasn't enough to deter Cole's friends and other socialites, who adopted his Christmas card idea as a way to save them time in their busy lives. Now, unfortunately for Cole, most simply copied his design and made their own Christmas cards. Of the 1,000 that he originally printed, only 21 still exist today. In 1848, the second commercial card came to the scene when William Ma Egley introduced an 8-panel card depicting a Christmas banquet, a Punch and Judy show, ice skating, and other acts of charity. It took many years for Christmas cards to catch on in England and the United States. Early themes included banquets, flowers, animals, and other seasonal scenes that you would expect, but many early Victorian Christmas cards also had disturbing images involving Santa kidnapping children, merry tricksters, bugs, and murderous frogs. Victorian-era Christmas cards also featured Krampus, a Middle European antithesis to Santa Claus. Where Santa Claus brings those well-behaved children toys and goodies, Krampus takes the toys from misbehaving children, and in extreme cases will even take the misbehaving children away for punishment, as depicted in this card. By the 1860s, Christmas cards had caught on as a holiday necessity in England. While Christmas cards first made their way to the United States in the 1840s, they were very expensive and very few people could afford them. But that all changed in 1875 when Louis Prang, a Prussian immigrant with a print shop near Boston, created the first Christmas card made in the United States. Prang's card didn't have any Christmas or holiday imagery on it. It was a painting of a flower and simply read "Merry Christmas." This was very common for the first generation of American Christmas cards. Card publishers often held annual design contests with cash prizes for the best designs. Prang's ability to cheaply print Christmas cards made them readily available to Americans, and people soon began to collect Christmas cards, much like they would collect stamps or coins. Every year, new Christmas cards would be introduced and reviewed in the newspapers and magazines of the day, much like a new book or a film. 1915 marks the beginning of the modern Christmas card industry when a Kansas City-based postcard printing company started by Joyce Hall published its first holiday card. By 1925, Joyce was joined by the brothers Raleigh and William, and the company changed its name to Hallmark. Soon after, Hallmark adopted a new format for their Christmas card, 4 inches wide, 5 inches tall, folded in half and placed in an envelope. The 1930s to the 1950s saw the Christmas card grow in popularity, with colorful pictures of red-suited Santas, the Star of Bethlehem, and nativity scenes along with other designs on the front of the card. Artists such as Salvador Dali and Grandma Moses created card designs for Hallmark and their competitors in an effort to keep up with the demands of their consumers. Unfortunately, Dali's designs were a little much for the average person, and his designs were quickly removed from the shelves. Between 1948 and 1957, Norman Rockwell designed 32 Christmas cards for the Hallmark Company. These are re-released every few years as a special collection by Hallmark. In the National Scouting Museum collection, we have 11 samples of Christmas cards sent out by the National Council Office between 1947 and 1986. This 1947 card is a postcard-style Christmas card that offers Christmas greetings in this season of good turns from your friends at the home office. This verbiage indicates this may have been a card sent to council offices and not necessarily a general release card from the BSA. It bears the printed signature of Chief Scout Executive Elbert Fretwell in his final year of service. The next sample is the 1948 card. It also has a postcard-style design and bears a greeting similar to the 47 card. The printed signature of Arthur Shuck is on the card as his first year of service as the Chief Scout Executive. Our third card is the 1953 card, which features 3 scouts on a hike overlooking a small town with a large church in the middle of the community. The Christmas star shines brightly overhead, and the verbiage inside the card is slightly longer than the previous cards we have looked at, and a BSA logo is printed to the right of Shuck's signature. Our next card is the 1955 card. This card features a cutout window on the cover, revealing a reprint of the BSA's 46th anniversary poster painted by Lawrence Wilbur. As you can see on the inside, the way the image is attached to the card, it is possible that the outer card was intended to be used for several years with the image being updated, or it's also possible that there were different versions featuring different pieces of art during that same year. Either way, this was certainly a more sophisticated card. This undated card shows several scouts on a sleigh ride. It appears that they may be delivering a Christmas wreath and gifts to someone in their community. 3 of the scouts are singing Christmas carols while a 4th scout accompanies them on his harmonica. The inside of the card remains blank. This 1959 Christmas card celebrates the 50th anniversary of the BSA in 1960 and features an illustration of the ideal scout, a sculpture created by Canadian artist Tate McKenzie. The statue started as a statuette in 1914 at the suggestion of Dr. Charles D. Hart, then president of the Philadelphia Council. In 1937, the Philadelphia Council commissioned a life-size version of the sculpture for its new headquarters. A total of 5 Boy Scouts posed for the statue between 1914 and 1937, and the final statue is a composite of all these models. The original sculpture stood in front of the council office in Philadelphia until 2013. Now, there are replicas of the statue found throughout the United States, and additional castings can be found at the National Council headquarters in Irving, Texas, Gilwell Park in England, and the Scouts Canada National Office in Ottawa. The card is blank on the inside. The next card is from 1962 and is a photorealistic illustration of two Boy Scouts on a winter camping adventure. The inside of the card is blank. The 1981 Christmas card is a complex card with two folds and a staggered cut, revealing the 1979 Joseph Satari painting, The Reunion. The inscription on the inside celebrates the 72nd anniversary of the BSA and bears the signature of BSA President Thomas McAvoy and Chief Scout Executive James Tarr. This 1983 card highlights the Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, and Explorers programs on the cover. The inside inscription is followed by the printed signatures of BSA President Edward Julian III and Chief Scout Executive James Tarr. The 1984 Christmas card shows the mission of the Boy Scouts of America on the front, and the inscription on the inside indicates that it may have been intended for volunteers by thanking them for their assistance. The signature of the BSA President, Sanford McDonald, appears beside James Tarr's signature in his final year as Chief Scout Executive. The final card in the collection is unique. Now, not unique because of its cover design or the message on the inside. As you can see, the cover is very simple, and it's also blank on the inside, and no date is provided to indicate when it was sent out by the BSA. Now, what makes it unique is some handwritten notes on the back of the card indicating the cost to the BSA to print and mail this particular Christmas card. As you can see, 6,500 cards were printed at 2.5 cents each for a total of $162.50. The total cost for the mailing, including postage, was $446.50. That leaves $284 for postage. Now, if you take that figure and divide it by 6,500, you get a postage rate of 4 cents per card. Based on the historical rates published by the United States Postal Service, a 4-cent letter would have been mailed between August 1st, 1958 and January 7th, 1963. Based on the date samples that we've already talked about and looked at, it's likely that this Christmas card was mailed out in 1958 or 1961. By the way, the most popular Christmas card of all time sold 34 million copies and is a simple Hallmark card first introduced in 1977. It's an image of 3 angels, 2 of whom are bowed in prayer. The third peers out from the card with big baby blue eyes, her halo slightly askew. The inside of the card reads, "God bless you, keep you, and love you at Christmas time and always." Today, the variety of Christmas cards available includes 3D pop-up cards, musical cards, video cards, humorous cards, and a whole lot more. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Join us next time as we continue to learn more about the history of the BSA through the collection of the National Scouting Museum and Artifact of the Week.